Hello people, welcome back to this world of my channel and just going to make a video about the history of my own hometown. And I really wanted to talk about that because it's interesting, because I want to talk about interesting things that happened back in the 19th century. And it used to be different. It used to be so many people that they were um, alone in the streets, and it's quite comp- compelling because I think it's interesting to know its facts, what matters the most. It could be anything. So before we can dive into that, make sure to like the video, please punch the subscribe button if you want to watch recent videos, check out my playlist and check out my comment section so you can see what I was going to talk about, and you can see answers and you can see your opinions and I'll give answers, and you can send me questions and you can and I can reply back, and yeah, I can do that. And yeah, let's get right in. Let's dive into it. Yeah, um, yeah. And what was my most explanation in this video? What we're gonna talk about is my own hometown, Cowdenbeath. Um, I don't think you never heard of Cowdenbeath. It's in Scotland, and I know you might think you guys are from American and you watch my videos, and I see that um you do watch my videos and you want to inspire me to make videos, and and that's my explanation. So yeah, yeah, kind of beef, yeah. But back in the 1930s, there used to be trams to Cowdenbeath to Dunfermline, and I think it's because it relates to history. Because when you think about it, you never know why they had trams in the last place, how they got horses, how they got um, you know, they went hats back in the day, and they don't wear hats. New, all these people don't wear hats. Only sun hats they always wear in this future, but in the past they didn't wear sun hats. They wear like winter hats. Um, or could be organization hats. I don't know. I'm just making it up. Um, yeah, used to have trams, used to have horses, and there used to be old streets that used to be black and white pictures. I'll put in my thumbnail so you can understand better. Yeah, it's like a term. It used to be like 3,100 people in the world in Scotland of Cowdenbeath. And I think it's because there used to be a lot of people in this area, and now all the people have died, and they actually just didn't know what was going on. But I mean, it's just because sometimes it's impossible to understand why people are not there anymore because it's in the past. So, um, yeah, there's another thing to think about history is of Cowdenbeath is that it's quite obvious, because sometimes it can be very unexplainable. But if you think that, you know, that people used to have a war, well, we used to have a war, you know, but back, back in the day, that wasn't available. That wasn't happening in Scotland and Cowdenbeath because it didn't happen. So I don't think there was no wars. I think there was just normal things and happened in 1935, maybe 1937. Um, yeah, used to have trams. It used to have horses. It used to have no hotels. Maybe no toilets. They always had to have newspaper to to clean themselves, and they used, yeah, I mean the past, the history is just from the 19th century. That's when it all happened. Because they were used to make, they never used to have technology, they never used to have phones, they never used to have any gadgets like controllers or computers or maybe they had like black and white TV back in the day. It's something like that. Um, you never notice that how many people used to be in Cowdenbeath because some of them are gone now. So I think new people change over time over the years. When it always comes to the pictures of Cowdenbeath, it's quite interesting because I mean there's a lot of factors that brings you back to 1930s. And when you think about it, it's like when you go back in time, you go time traveling, you go back in time to 1935 or 1937. Um, that's when you know the the new the new updates had to change because there used to be cars, and there used to be cars in 1930s. It used to be very old modern times. Because it's old fashioned. It's black and white. It's used to be really um completely optimistic, or sometimes it can be very out, outstanding because I think that when you look at the pictures, you see how what could it be really looks like. Just for example, if we were in America, you might think America used to be like the old fashioned days where used to be cars, used to be horses. You had to go riding the horses all the time. You have to go on the trams. They never used to have. They did have trains. I think I'm not sure they did have trains. I can't remember. Um, like if I was back in time for the future, I'd be an old man by now. I'll be like about 5 years old. That's crazy. I'll be like, okay, I remember back in 1937, I was about 21 in 1937, and I'd be like, what? I don't know. It's confusing, right? It's really confusing. So, but yeah, it's been comparing, because I think there's some expectations about, reality might be outshaped a little bit of places has never forgotten, like castles, for example. Maybe they had castles, and I think they had castles. If they had castles, they would actually build a castle. Maybe there could be one, you know, local meadows. Could be Barangay. That's what it is. That's what it is. So that's why I want to make a request about my evidence. Like what happened that day. I mean, for example, there was no cars, there was no cars, there was no games to play with. We only had um I think they only had board games. For example, just board games. They had the I think they had like different foods to eat. I don't know. I mean, they never had like energy drinks that time. They never had any juices and anything. They had water. They just had water, and that's it. They just had water. Um, because I think that's because I think it's different because I don't know. I really don't know because I got no clues to answer that question to myself. But for a split second, I do feel like that it's coming to the representing represents the energy of humanity, and sharing information about my environment is is quite you know I think it's quite more realistic, optimistic that it's realistic. So I think that's what happened. I think that's what we never had in 1930s or 1940s. So I think it was, yeah, it was. I think it used to be very hot that day. It used to be very hot. People were really roasting and exhausted because they never used to do nothing. They were not supposed to do anything, but they had to do work. They used to do work in the 1930s, so they had to do, cleaning their houses, or maybe trying to clean you know, clean anything. It could be like maybe trying to clean the horses or trying to get they were stuff like they always had to work as a group. They had to work together. They were mental, and it's like yeah, it was a mental year for them. Because I think they were you know like they were depressed or something. Maybe they had a bad history in their childhoods. You know, that's because you know all the people who worked there they wanted to be a group. You know, they wanted to be enforcers, and that's what it is. So if that makes sense, because I don't know, I can't answer these facts about history about Cowdenbeath, but yeah, they had trams, they had horses, and that's it. And then they had to get to clean the horses, and that's why they done the jobs as a group. They just done a group. That's all. It's just been a group. It's just been a group, so that's it. Alright, guys. Okay, guys. I think that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy watching. You know, like um, facts about um, you know, just try to share some facts about um, Cowdenbeath in history, and that's for today's video. Thank you for watching, and thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a nice day, and I wish you luck to check in through my channel in case you don't realize that you won't forget, and I hope you will understand my common sense, because this is the morality that you have to trust, and that's why I want you to come to my channel. You can check out my videos, check out my content, and check out my playlists if you can. Leave a comment down below and share your thoughts. Alright guys, I'll see you soon.